it's Melissa from Sogolytics. In today's feature focus, I want to draw your attention to page names. Now, we do have a joke here. We do have a colleague named Paige, who is a delight. But today we're talking about naming pages in your survey to make designing that project even easier. Now, for my sample today, I have a nice little employee feedback survey that I'm going to use to collect feedback in order to plan a retreat. I want feedback from managers, feedback from general employees, feedback from people who've been there before. And to set that up, I built a 5-page survey. Now, at a glance, you could maybe take my word for it that it's all set up the right way, but looking at rearranged questions at the top of the screen is a really nice way to see exactly what's going on. Here on the first page, I have an introduction. Here I have questions about the personal information for each of those folks participating. Of course, I probably pre-populate that, but for example, page 3 is going to be questions for leaders, 4 for direct reports, and 5 for everybody. So it's a really nice way to double check before you go in to set up your logic. But even better is knowing exactly what is the purpose of each of those pages. So very nicely now we have this option to add text here. This page name is going to be used for your internal design purposes. It is not going to be seen by any of your participants. But as soon as you save it, now every time you look at this drop-down list, you're going to easily be able to navigate through which page is which. Now, 5 pages is not too dramatic, but when you start to have lots more pages, you can tell very quickly how useful it will be to see intro, leaders, conclusion, etc. Let me just jump right out of there and go into logic, because here to me is where it all comes together. Now, I built my 5 pages, and I know I'm going to be using single question branching. Now, I want to draw attention to the question I'm using here as a decision, which is, do you serve in a leadership role? This question is so important, I'm going to go ahead and set it as mandatory before I go in and set up my logic rules. So just a reminder. So coming to logic, single question branching. And here I can see again, there are the page names. That's what it's all about here. And I remember that my decision question is on page 2. Do I serve in a leadership role? And now quickly I can see when this answer is selected, yes, someone is a leader, obviously they go to the leader page. And if they choose no, then I want them to go to the direct reports page. Remember, this is mandatory, so there is no if not answered. If you haven't selected that as mandatory, you will see the option. So go back and just double check. So now page 3, that's my leaders. Where should the leaders go after? If you want, you can show them the direct report type questions as well too, if those are general. But in my case, I want them to go ahead and skip over that page completely to 5. So go to that common conclusion. So now I can do 2 things. In this case, I could say, yes, go to the conclusion if they answer it. I could also say, go to the conclusion if they don't answer it. But remember, if you want it to be mandatory, so they see exactly what's going on and you have to push them down the right road, you can certainly do that as well too. And then there will not be if not answered. All right, so let's preview that, see how it looks. Looks pretty nice from here, but we can't see until the proof in the pudding, which is in preview. So again, one more option here. You're going to see that drop down of page names. We'll come up here to next. Remember that this is a mandatory question. So I'm saying, yes, people in a leadership role, I do want them to see this question. Again, they could answer it or not answer it. Either way, the way I've set it up right now, they should still go to page 5. And here they did, the conclusion. And the same thing, we're going to go back and check, make sure you check each branch of your branch, right? So our no people should come directly to learning about the leadership development plan. Of course, from page 4, they go to page 5 anyway. So very cool stuff. I hope this is useful and interesting for you. Page names, super helpful. When you meet Paige, she'll be excited to share that about you with you as well too. But for now, check it out, set up your logic, and you'll be good to go. Cheers, be well.